What's up? What's up?
Salute.
Mm. Mm. Oh, that might have been a double shot. That might have been too much. What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Shoot. Chilling.
What's up, Marky Mark?
I'm chilling, what I mean, chilling city boys up. You know what I mean? It's definitely been a whole city week right now. City boys, city girls, it's been a city week right now. So it's definitely crazy in these streets.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
Definitely
crazy in these streets.
What's up, Merv? Why you quiet?
I thought Mark was about to steal my intro just now when he started talking the shit that I want to talk about. He scared the fuck out of me. I thought
I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm like, it's so many ways. Yeah, I mean, these city streets is running. You can go in so many different directions with this thing. Yeah, I didn't know the new year was gonna start off with a city blast, but I'm like, we ain't even halfway through, the new year.
The 12th.
We really at the 12th. We 12 days.
The 12 days of city.
Yeah, we got more city news in here than like we might have had in the past 2 months. Like, that's how crazy it's been. Yeah, it's insane.
12 days in.
Yeah, but you know what I am going to start with? I don't know, Merv, I don't think you got this one, but I'm going to start. Right? Yeah, I mean, for a Kanye West was now named Ye, right? Yeah. It's almost like he's creating a City Boys team. You know what I'm saying? He's, because he's coming out with Donda 2. He's already announced that, right? But I'm like, he's having group photos, and I'm looking at all these guys, and I'm like, these are true City Boys. Every last one of them, and so is Ye. So I'm just like, man, I'm like, people worried about Antonio Brown. Well, he ain't playing football. I'm like, man, AB is about to be on Donda 2. And, you know what I'm saying? He probably going to have his own pair of Yeezys coming out. I'm like, if you think AB worried about football, you best think again. You know what I'm saying? Ye is the last person you really want to be a billionaire. Most people do. I love it personally. But you don't want somebody, you know what I'm saying, with his crazy mind to be a billionaire. But I love it because Ye, was part City Boy. So I'm just like, man, he going to bring all the City Boys together on the Donda 2. It's going to be a nice collaboration. Sneakers going to drop. Right. And then guess what? All them young boys that's out there who ain't City Boys yet, they going to get them Yeezys and they going to go on to be City Boys. So I'm just like, it's definitely city crazy right now.
No, but real talk, what if AB really got bars? Like, what if he shows up on the Donda album and really spit? He's crazy.
He's going to have to be coached based on what I've already heard. He's going to need some work. You know what I'm saying? He's going to need some work or whatever. But guess what? Ye, not only do we got the people, from the original Donda, he got Beanie Siegel behind the scenes, making sure things is right. So Sieg, is going to teach AB how to get this, get this thing off, man. So AB ain't worried about no football, man. Y'all can have the football. We doing Donda 2. We dropping Yeezys. And that's all we need to be concerned about. That's billionaire talk. That's billionaire talk right there.
Right.
I'm all for it. And if they swing through Philly and you see me in anywhere in the vicinity, you know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? You already know.
Look at the ball in the background.
Like, man, I know that ball. I know that ball right there. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's some city stuff going on. There's some city stuff going on. I just like, nah. Early day of work tomorrow, so I'm just like, man, super early. So I'm like, yeah, I can't do it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Man, he already made that NFL money. He about to make that Yeezy money. That's greater than that NFL money. You know what I'm saying?
But Ye got a history of not paying people, so maybe not.
Well, listen, but here's the thing, though. But guess what? For Beans got his money. For Ray, the streets of Philly already done talked about that. You know what I'm saying?
Big Sean
Beans got his money.
That Ye owe him.
Huh?
Big Sean still waiting on his $6 million that Ye owe him.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think when Ye trashes
Tiana
you,
Taylor waiting for some of her coins too.
I'm gonna say like this. I think when Ye trashes you on an interview, I don't think he wants to pay you. I mean, that's real. That's definitely some city boy type stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't like him, so I don't want to pay. You know, so I'm just like, man. But Beans got his money, so I'm just like, I think if you with Ye, he gonna cash you. He'll make sure you cashed out. I think everything's good with that.
Yeah, it may be 15
If
years.
y'all on good terms.
Yeah, if you on good terms, I think Ye gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
I feel like that with 50. Like I think 50, you'll be all right as long as you're on good terms with him. Like Ye, if you do anything bad, like if you drink something that he says is nasty, it's a wrap. Like he's gonna write you off and put you in a verse and go back on Drink Champs to talk about you again. Like Ye is isn't he a Gemini?
I don't know. I don't know what Ye is. But I'm like, man, people who good with him got cashed out, though. So I'm just like, I expect, for a lot of things going on surrounding this Donda too. So I'm looking forward to it just from a city boy perspective. I mean, I ain't even got to the record yet. I'm just looking for a city boy perspective, to see how this gonna roll. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of the city girls, I'm like, y'all gotta win, because I'm just like, man, listen, when a city boy don't want to pay up, the judge sides with a city girl to make sure he pay up. Sorry, Tristan. You know what I mean? You offered her 75 bands. You offered her 75 bands, but the judge gave her 40 a month. 40 bands a month. Guess what? 2 months she got what you already offered. Sorry, buddy. Right. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to pay her. Girls up. You're gonna have to pay her. So Tristan, what I would suggest you do, since you're making about 11 million this year, right? Take about 9 of that 11, park it, right? And then just cash her out, because over 18 years, that pretty much will equal close to about $9 million. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard. So, hey, just park that. You know what I mean? Park the salary for most of the salary for this year, and then do that. You're good.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great fucking idea. Let's see, 40,000 times 12 is 480,000. So, and the baby is one, right?
Yeah, they just born. Yeah,
480 times 18.
So 480,000. What'd you say?
Times 18.
Times 18.
How much is that?
8,640,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
see?
work with the math.
Yeah. So
just give her ass 8.5 million right now and be done with it.
Yeah,
she's gonna blow that.
But that's.
I'm gonna tell you right
now. They ain't no Tristan. Now here's the thing: what he needs to do. Tristan being a true city boy, get back and go with Chloe, right? You go through the daughter, right, and then boom, take some of her bread and then move it over to the account to pay for the other baby.
You think Tristan could get some of Chloe money?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, I'm gonna say like this, right? Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, especially because I talked to some baby mamas about this already, right? They was just like, yo, if Tristan ain't truly fuck it up with her, right? If he still could sneak his way in there, he can get some of that bread. I'm just like, man, this is baby mama talking right here.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
long as he's still fucking. He gotta be still fucking her.
Yeah, I think right now she got him on a little timeout, but I think he can slide back in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And plus, he threatens anybody who tries to get with her anyway. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing for him.
Yeah.
Nobody's scared of Tristan. Nobody is scared to mess with Chloe in case Tristan come around. No.
That's the wrong move. That's the wrong move to make. The best move is put the dick back in Chloe.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. I got
that's
you.
The best move.
I feel you on that.
If he puts it back in Chloe, he has a better chance of persuading her to do what he wants, or his influence goes up tremendously once
the price goes up too.
Huh?
Yeah.
The price goes up too.
What price?
If Chloe takes Tristan back for real this time, like if she takes it back again, she deserves every single thing she gets. That she would be a dumb ass. Like, is you stupid or is you dumb? Like, why would
she already took him back like 3 other times. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay.
She would
You know.
be humiliated all over Beyonce's internet if she takes him back again.
Listen.
Yeah.
All that mean is
She dumb.
no. Listen, all I mean is Chloe has done some shit to satisfy her internal quiet revenge that we just don't fucking know about.
Oh well, yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tristan,
all she gotta do is get pregnant by somebody he know. That's it.
Tristan, just keep that you know what I mean? Just keep that joint account open with her. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do.
I doubt they
Keep that joint account open with her. You know what I'm saying?
I doubt
I like, listen, if you already been getting the chick money, you know how to finesse and get it again. You know what I'm saying? That is true words. That's true words right there. Trust me. If you've been getting it before, you can get it again.
Not as many times as Chloe been taking him back.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Right, you know, I was like, well, we're gonna have to see what happens. You know, I mean, this is something to be, you know, revisited, you know, throughout this year, but we're gonna see what happens. But Merv, you know what I mean, you got more city boy news, so let's go with it. Let's hear it.
I'll let Becca go.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure if y'all have been keeping up on this, but y'all aware that the whole Britney Spears situation, right? So everybody was asking, where's her sister? Where's her sister? Like, her mother hasn't said anything. Her sister hasn't said anything. Her father barely spoke anything. It was mainly just her going online with smudged eye makeup and naked, right? Okay, so we got Jamie Lynn. So Jamie Lynn Spears, first of all, she's coming out with a book.
That's the little sister, right?
The little sister. Yeah. First of all, she's coming out with a book. The book is called Things I Should Have Said or Things I Should Have Told Us or something like that, right? Of course. So she speaks out on a new interview about her strange relationship with Britney. She goes over here and says, I'm not sure about what's going on with my sister. There's been a lot of misunderstandings going on. Everyone was saying that I had access to her money or knew about her money. But if I did, it would have been a misunderstanding because I never knew anything about what was going on with her.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Let me just ask a question real quick, right? Just real quick before you go on, right? I'm just saying, like, you know, I know they was in this conservatorship, you know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Britney
I'm like,
but she wasn't.
But here's the thing. How does the money get to, like, how does the money go through the parents and get to the daughter? Like, I'm like, man, I'm like, I'm that part I'm a little bit confused about.
Well, when her father became in charge of everything,
okay,
he was in charge of everything from when we say that she was controlled, everything she ate, the things she wore. Okay. She was not able to have a phone or a tablet, like a cell phone. She just got these things in the last year, let's say. When did she become free? Recently.
Yeah, recently.
So she literally went online and was like so happy. Like, I got an iPad. I got a cell phone. Like, she really, I want to say she was in the conservatorship for 10 years, I want to say. This whole time, all the money that she was getting, or supposed to have been getting, because she was still touring. Mm-hmm. She was performing and all of this. All that money was going into an account that she never saw. Her father was in charge of all of this. Okay. So he had control of the money. He could have easily slid Jamie Lynn a couple mil, every so often. But in her mind, she never knew what was going on. She was completely oblivious to what was happening with her sister. She never asked any questions. This is what she's saying. She never asked any questions. She never stopped caring, but she stayed away from it. She was like, it's not my issue. It's between Daddy and Britney. I ain't got nothing to do with me, and left it alone. Britney Spears' mother still ain't had a peep from her yet. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden she's coming out with a book of things I should have said. This is the title of the book, and she mentions Britney. So we'll see. There's an interview that she's going to be coming out with soon, and we'll see what she says. In regards to all the things that she gonna act like she ain't know about. I'm sure she knew. Yeah,
but she didn't have access to the bread though. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way she had access to the bread.
Well, I mean, the father could have slid her some money.
Maybe, yeah, I mean, but I'm just like, unless you could prove some favoritism in the family, yeah, I mean, where we like her over the sister.
I mean,
I'm like, if that can't happen,
wasn't in no conservatorship, only Britney.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it been,
So there's
but then
favoritism right there. They didn't lock this
it,
girl up for
it
10
had.
years like she
I
was.
would say like this. It has to be what it has to be a reason why, and that'll probably come out too of why they put her one in the first place. So,
Well, they thought she was mentally unstable.
oh,
She
oh,
lost
okay,
custody of her kids.
oh,
So Kevin Federline got child support,
yeah,
like a good amount. He was like
yeah,
one of the first ones to get money from the women. And then it was a whole
yeah,
bunch of them after.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was one of the first ones. This was when the kids were little.
yeah.
So
This,
we talk
yeah,
about over 10 years. She hasn't been there with her children. She hasn't seen them
right,
grow up.
right.
Nothing. She literally was put into a cage in the corner
Mhm.
for 10 years, and now she's coming out and she's naked on the gram with smudged eye makeup.
Yeah. So this is yeah. I mean,
Hey,
so
hey,
this is
Mark.
back in the day, city boy type talk
Yeah.
right here. Okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
got you.
Hey,
Kevin
Mark.
Federline was the first city boy.
Hey,
He
Mark.
definitely got money from that judge. Absolutely.
Mark, you remember the leak mix album from Lil Wayne? Well, I think it was like track 2. He was like, I'm much better than I ever been. I'm married to that crazy bitch. Call me Kevin Federline. You know? Hey, yeah. Hey,
Jeez. Before city boys were city boys. Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah,
hear
he
that.
definitely started that movement of husbands divorcing and getting away with the money.
Yeah, because the other girl on I forgot what that show is. It ain't American Idol, it's something else, The Voice or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and he getting her money.
Yep, Mary J.
Yeah,
Blige.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
even
man.
I want to say Jennifer Hudson also, because I don't think she has custody of her son with homeboy that was on the reality show. I think he got. I think he don't have a big bag, but I think he got something. He at least got custody of the kid.
Yeah, you got custody. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, when the court takes away the kid from the mother, yeah, you
Goodness.
cuckoo for Cocoa
You
Puff.
man, and when the court take away custody from the mom,
That's
good.
big business.
I mean, you got to be real terrible. You know what I mean, or something. I don't know.
But how we know? I mean, in some cases with celebrities, they probably chose for the dad to have them based on their lifestyle.
Well, that was Jennifer Hudson ex-husband's complaint, that because she was in the business and she was always away, he had the son anyway. So when it came to time for them to divorce, it was easy for him to prove that he would be the better parent because she was always away working. It wasn't that she was a bad mother, but he was able to say, right, he was able to say she's always away working, and I always had the kid anyway, so he might as well stay with me. And the judge was like, "You're right." I was like, damn.
But then she got to fork over all the bread too. You know what I mean? You know, she got to fork over all that money too. You know what I'm saying? Much more if a court wasn't in it. You know, if they worked it out themselves, it wouldn't be the judge wouldn't award them as that much. Wouldn't have never happened.
Mary J. Blige's husband said that he wanted to keep up the lifestyle and that his only income was from her, and he was her manager. So that would
leave cash him out.
That would leave him in a bad case. So the judge was like, "Okay,
well, Mary J. Blige is getting paid $400,000 per fucking episode of Power. She alright."
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
That don't mean that she can be giving spousal support to a man she ain't never had no kids with. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm gonna say like this, man.
All the damn niggas that all the time stabbing to the niggas. That's just, you know what it is? That's ketchup. That's just some ketchup.
Right. The judge, I mean, for is probably as a city boy T-shirt under the robe. So I mean, I understand. I definitely understand, Judge.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, the cases. Only thing that I think is wild is the one you're talking about. I can't think of her name, but her husband really like got her for some coins. Like she's paying a lot of money. I think they have 1 or 2 kids together. She has her own talk show now, but well, at least she did. And yeah, the judge gave him.
That's the girl from The Voice, right?
Yeah.
The judge went to town on her.
He said that he wasn't working. But his family owns land, and like they have a whole expensive ass winery or some shit that he was going to start on his own. So he wanted to start his own business so that he can support himself since he's no longer with her, and the
Right.
judge awarded him money for that.
Yeah,
Like,
and property
I
too.
was like, damn.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
just like Merv said, at some point, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I don't know,
Yeah,
marry somebody crazy, divorce her, and get that money.
man. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta make sure they're crazy and got money now. No matter,
Yes.
no
Yes.
matter if I'm crazy and broke.
Yeah, just crazy. Trust me, you know that don't work. Yeah, you know, seriously.
Right.
That's why I messed
You
up
gotta
at
have the bag.
all them times, you know, that I had to, you know, jump out the bed from getting stabbed. Like, no, they ain't have all that kind of bread, so that was just wasted. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, Merv?
All right, Merv, go ahead. Tell us
Yo.
what's going on.
Listen, you know, hey, listen, you know what's going on. We just talking about motherfucking niggas that's getting paid child support or spousal support.
Right.
You know, I should could sometimes flip. You got some crazy motherfucking women out here.
Yeah. Hey, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing what the fuck some females would do for that
Klondike
notoriety.
bar. Klondike bar.
Yo, for that notoriety, for that publicity, for that bag. Like, listen, I always tell people I'd rather be rich and not famous.
Same.
But it's hard to be rich without being famous. Like
if you black, it's harder. It's harder. Not to say it can't be done, but it's harder.
Right, especially if one motherfucker know, they gonna tell a motherfucker, then that motherfucker gonna tell a motherfucker, and it's just like goddamn, it's gonna exponentially grow to all these niggas know that you got money now.
And the thing is,
a local celebrity, a state celebrity, or national celebrity.
And the thing is, if you black, it's gonna be something about you that ain't normal, right? It's gonna be something about you that's baller. I don't know what it is, but something about you gonna be baller. If you rich, if you black, something about you is gonna be baller. And you know, we don't know what it is. We have no idea. Like, listen, Becca, you know what I mean, could overnight be rich. We don't know, right? Becca, you know what I mean, might invite us over to the house, like, you know, nice house, but you know, nothing like super crazy. But Becca be like cutting onions with like diamond knives or something. And then you just be like, you know what? That's it. That's where the money at right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
like
gonna be something baller.
But I pull up in a McLaren, like,
yeah, it's gonna be something baller about whatever's going on, particularly with us. We don't know what it is, but it's gonna be something baller. You know what I mean? For like Merv, you know what I mean, it really could be normal, you know. Okay, you know what I mean, I got a new car, but it ain't nothing crazy, right? But Merv got diamonds in the San Francisco hat. That see what I'm talking about? Baller.
Right.
Something gonna be baller.
Like Whitney Houston had 24 karat gold toilets.
Yeah, see? You know what I mean? Yo, where's the bathroom? Oh, down the hall to the left. Whoa!
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You open that shit and shine it. Like,
whoa! Wait a minute.
This is not bronze. This is 24 karat gold.
Like, man, you got some sunglasses. I just need to take a piss, but I don't want to, you know, spray everywhere. Just thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, something gonna be ball.
But the extremes that motherfucker go to be able to ball sometimes blows my fucking mind. And if you famous, does that make you immune to having a fucking disease? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Unless you're Magic Johnson.
Well, he got the magic pill.
But yeah, and then got cured.
But listen, everybody know I'm a big Neil Long fan. Motherfuckers that know me from when I was young, I'm a big ass Neil Long fan.
Right.
You got motherfuckers. You got beautiful celebrity women. Lauren London. You got some bad. If I had a chance to fuck Lauren London tonight, I would still put a condom on because she could still fucking have something.
Gotcha.
I know motherfuckers like, yo, what the fuck is Merv getting at?
You're not gonna risk it off for Lauren London.
You trying to go off it's like just because they famous as celebrities, that don't mean them fuckers is immune to having a fucking STD.
Gotcha.
Just to get the damn money, just to get the fucking bag. I'm not gonna fuck a famous celebrity female raw just so I could try to be set for the rest of my goddamn life. It's fucking crazy. And the method that this fucking IG model used, you gonna go in the fucking bathroom, dig the condom out the fucking trash can, and stick inside your pussy to drain all of his semen inside your pussy just so you get pregnant by Drake and be set for your rest of your fucking life. You don't know what the fuck Drake got, one. But is it that fucking serious? And then
it must be.
It must be. Here's the other thing, right? Does this motherfucker not know that semen is supposed to be white or clear? I've never seen red semen. If the semen is red or got some kind of color in it, something is wrong. Something is wrong. How the fuck did you not know there's hot sauce inside this fucking condom?
Nah, but Drake putting hot sauce in the condom is hilarious as hell.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you not know? Like, did you do it in the dark? Did you just grab
maybe it could have been low lighting.
Oh yeah,
could have been set.
Low lights. You know what I mean? Some people don't have sex with the lights on. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, some people don't do it.
Just after though. Like,
oh, she went into the bathroom after he threw the condom out.
Drake went to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Put the condom in the trash can.
Right.
The condom. He put a knot in the condom.
He tied a knot
on the condom.
And put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
She went into the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Took the condom out the trash can. Either untied or cut it, and tried to slide the semen inside herself.
Yeah.
And she said it felt like hot lava inside her vagina.
Good.
Because all the hot sauce.
Hey, good for Drake then.
Good for her.
Good.
But after all that being said, this is what the fuck she's trying to do. Instagram model is trying to sue Drake. After
Drake said he got hot sauce in his bag.
Hot sauce in the condom.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something, right? I've heard
hot sauce in my bag.
I've heard stories about, you know what I'm saying, this, like, not, hot sauce, vinegar. I've heard these type of stories.
To kill the sperm.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna say like this. I remember it being in on a conversation. It was this guy. This is like years ago. Is this guy? Club Fridays in Philly. If anybody is from Philly, you know when I say Club Fridays on City Ave, when Iverson and the Sixers used to roll through, and it was this OG who had money, and he's talking. I'm right there in this section with Iverson. He's talking to him. He like, man, don't let these Johns trap you. This what you do, boy. You know what I mean? For real, spray that shit with vinegar, hot sauce, or something. You know what I'm saying? So bang, you know what I mean? Use that condom. You know what I mean? Shoot, they can't, you know what I mean, go ahead and steal that sperm. Like, I remember this conversation like it was yesterday because we was right there eating. You know what I'm saying? Yo, wild as shit. And I thought, I'm a young boy at the time, so I'm thinking, this sound wild. But to hear it come up all these years later, I'm like, oh, that's still the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, but
that's what she get. That's a good job, Drake.
You know how many first thing, sweetheart, that lawsuit getting thrown out. You know what I mean? Why don't you just take your clout off it? You know what I mean? Or these 5 minutes of fame, right? Get your OnlyFans up, talk some shit, and then that's it. There you go. That's all you got to do.
That's dumb. If Drake got to do that, he needs to reevaluate how friendly he is.
First of all, listen.
That's crazy.
Drake did that on purpose. Drake knew she was gonna do that. Because listen, Mark, the average nigga, when we finish, we take that condom off, drop that bitch in the toilet, and flush that motherfucker.
Indeed.
So Drake set her ass up. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. He expected her to do that dumb shit.
Yeah.
There's no way there was just a fucking coincidence that he put hot sauce in a condom, tie it up, and drop it in the fucking trash can of the bathroom when he know he's like worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, the thing is, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. She thought she had a shot because Drake got caught out there with an IG model before having his first child.
He learned his lesson, though.
I'm glad that he did.
Yeah, because now her Twizzard is on fire. That's what the fuck she get.
I mean, but like
that's what she get.
Yeah.
You shaking your head. You shaking your head like chicks don't really do this. Like, yeah.
No,
They do.
I know to do it, but it's just, and you know the sad thing. Let's say he didn't do that,
Right.
and find out she's pregnant, right? And Drake was like, "Yo," he come out like, "Yo, that motherfucker set me up. I wore a condom. Like, I did not come inside her. She must have went into a fucking trash can."
Nobody would believe him.
Nobody would have believed him.
Well, that's true.
No.
Nobody would have believed him.
That's true.
Man, you know, I'm trying to tell you, but I mean,
true.
it's
they would be like Drake is like he acted light skinned. Like, come on, you
it's a lot of it's a lot of different tricks to the trade. That's like a woman handing you condoms, but she might have poked small holes in it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, yeah, I mean, that shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And that be happening to regular dudes too. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy that shit is.
Right.
That motherfucker ain't even rich.
JoJo off the block.
It could be like, all she thinking is, he look kind of good. You know what I mean? I might have a nice looking kid with him. You know what I mean? Boom. Poke, 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 poke. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, listen, that's why until 25 years old, I pulled out with a condom on. You wasn't catching your boy. Pulled out with a condom on to that motherfucker. God damn it, like, hey, you get pregnant from this motherfucker, you're gonna call it Hercules, baby.
Nah, goodbye.
Man,
who said that red man super spur her? No, that was Mutton Man.
Fuck that.
That's ridiculous. Well, you know what it was? She wanted to be a parent so bad, so that's what it was. She wanted to have Drake's baby.
No, I mean that, but you know what though? I'm gonna say like this. That could be part of it. That could be part of it.
Nah, she was listening to fucking that billionaire remix with 50 Cent and P. Diddy and who else was that? Was that
Jay-Z? Yeah.
Have a baby by me, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, be a millionaire. She just heard that shit. Drake invited her up to the room because they was like talking downstairs and shit. And Drake just casually like, "Yo, you want to go to the room?" It was like, "Yeah." It was like, "Yo,
of course she
does. You want to have sex?" And she said that Drake wanted to make sure that it was consensual. He asked her several times, "Are you sure you're okay with having sex?" This came out her fucking mouth.
Yes.
Do you want to have sex? Are you sure you want to have sex?
I'm not mad at that.
Try to set the motherfucker up.
I'm not mad at that either. I ain't mad at that either. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? I'm trying to tell you. I remember, OGs telling me like, "Yo, man, if a chick say, like you invite her over to the crib or whatever, right? Yo, you get her to say what she gonna do on that phone. Like, I'm saying, before she even be like, yo, I'm coming over. What are you doing when we get here? Because this is what I'm trying to do. Make her agree to it right then. I'm saying, before she even step foot in your door. Like, yeah, that really happened.
That's crazy. Yeah. What if you was like, what if she really does decide to go to court in regards to this? Not necessarily like, let's say, is there a charge that could be given for him putting hot sauce in the condom? Like,
that's impossible. What charge?
I don't understand what she thought was going to happen, because she came forth with it. So I'm sure she wanted something to happen, even if it was people to talk shit about him. But it turned around. Or most people, from what I have seen on the internet, are like, "Good job." Like it's gonna be a lot of niggas putting hot sauce on their condoms now.
But how the fuck can you? I can't see her going. I can't see her showing up to court really suing Drake for like, I don't know, $1 million, and said he set me up by putting hot sauce in the condom. Like, immediately his lawyers will be like, "Well, could you tell the court how hot sauce came from the condom to your vagina?"
Oh, I went in the garbage and got it.
What?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I went to the garbage to get it. It shouldn't have been there anyway. If he felt like I was going to go in the garbage to get it, he was setting me up.
Yo, listen.
Listen, only way, the only way she could win that court battle is she called Governor Tate from Power to pull a fucking favor, yo.
She might need Sacks to be her lawyer.
Yeah. She gonna need something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Only fucking way that happens, yo.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's get into today's topic. And speaking of parents, of
Hey.
kids.
But before we leave, the moral of the story, my niggas, anytime you put hot sauce in a condom before you dispose of it. Going forward, 2022.
I'm telling you, now there's gonna be a hot sauce shortage.
Going forward.
It's gonna be
hot sauce in a condom.
It's gonna be a hot sauce shortage now. Every dude
Yeah.
if you see ladies, if you are messing with a dude and you go into his bedroom or his bathroom and you see a bottle of hot sauce anywhere there, just run. Because he got plans.
I'm keeping shit like this on deck.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not a hot sauce
Keeping motherfucker on deck, yo. You better go get these.
Man.
You better go get these mobile packs.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So
and fellas gonna be like, do Tabasco work too? Like, yeah, it do work. It do.
Listen,
Tabasco's
Get
got
that Texas Pete.
you get a pack of Texas Pete and a gold pack. It goes together now. All right.
What's
Hot
that
sauce and
commercial?
condom.
What's that
The
commercial?
gold
I
pack-
put that shit on everything.
Hey, this shit.
that's red. I think that's red hot.
This is not only good for collard greens no more. This is not only good for soul food. This is also good to keep away soul children. Because trying to tell you, hot sauce and condoms going forward 2022 coming to you. My bad, Becca. Go ahead.
We have reached a stage in humanity where you actually have to put hot sauce on a condom to prevent a chick from trying to have your baby.
Yeah.
What kind of world is this?
Hey, look.
And she's trying to sue.
A world where I'm trying to keep my coins. I want to keep all my money.
Lord Jesus. I'm ashamed.
Trying to keep my money.
This is definitely City Boys Up moment.
Yeah.
Like the lady's taking a real L with this one.
We only 12 days in the year, you know what I'm saying? And we got all this city news.
It's crazy.
I'm like, man, what's the rest of the year going to be like? This is crazy.
Right. All right, well, let's get into the topic. Today, I wanted to discuss, a lot of people are having pandemic babies, right? A lot of people have been home. They've been stuck in the house, quarantining, or just trying to be safe from the outside. There's a lot of people having babies. And it made me think of, and I'm not sure if you guys ever seen this video. It was like, if you have a pandemic baby, these are like some new babies. Like one video I saw, this pandemic baby, he was like maybe a month old, sitting up, rolling around, trying to crawl. She was like, this is definitely a pandemic baby. Like these new babies are crazy. So it made me think of the way that these children now have to be raised versus the way we were raised and the different types of parenting styles, right? So I wanted to discuss the different types of parenting styles and which one is best. Not best in totality, but best for you or best for the type of child that you have. And I wanted to discuss it because as we get older, especially with me now, my daughter's 11. I'm looking at her like she's turning into like a preteen, like a young lady. And the way that I have to parent her is completely different than the way my parents had to parent me. The way they raised me is certain conversations are different. Things that she has to understand being in the world is different. So what do you guys think now of the way that these kids, the kind of world that they're growing up in? How do you think that affects the way that they need to be parented?
Are you talking about based off the pandemic? Or are you talking about
just in general? But I'm just mentioning that because a lot of people are having pandemic babies. So these new kids are something else. But just in general, how do you think like this generation needs to be parented versus the way we were?
Well, shit, I think we need to go back to the way we were. I honestly felt, and some people about to slam the fuck out of me for this right here. I feel kids have gotten too much fucking rights these days. It's a difference between making sure that the kid is being taken care of, not being abused, or neglected. So I get that they're kids. You got to make sure that you look out for them, right? But it's gotten to the point of we so much have been given for like child rights where it's actually becoming detrimental to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, it was about a year and a half ago, right before it was right before the pandemic. So it's probably about 2 years ago. I read an article that a father took away his daughter's cell phone because she was acting up in school. I think something happened in school.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
His daughter had the ability to call the cops on her father and press charges for stealing.
What?
And he
I
actually
wish my child would.
he actually got arrested though. He actually got arrested.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it is the the interpretation of the new laws and stuff that's supposed to protect the child has, in my opinion, has just been using in a way where it's become detrimental and more neglectful and more harmful to the kids, because it's almost like kids feel like you can't tell them anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could agree with that.
And kids got access to Google now. There's a lot more access to social media or internet stuff where they can go and look shit up, far as what do I have the ability to do legally against my mom or against my dad.
Mhm.
So with that article, I mean, when a kid read that, I can imagine how many other kids attempted to call the cops
Mm-hmm.
on their parent.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the parenting style, in my opinion, needs to go back by 30 years, because I do feel like kids have too much rights, where they can really take advantage of the situation.
What you think,
Mm.
Mark?
You know what? I'm gonna say like this, and I go this based on what I see.
Mm-hmm.
I think the more kids that really ain't involved in anything, they just kind of out there, you know. I think that's bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time, when the kids that I know, kids that I see or whatever, and some, are involved in a bunch of activities, right? And I get why. You know what I'm saying? I get why, like they involved in the activities or whatever, right? They trying to, if I'm involved in these activities, I don't have no time to get in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some kids really know that early on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look, this is where I live. The situation's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to spend a lot of time here. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the neighborhood. It's better to be a part of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, me being a coach or whatever, I've had kids come to me and be like, "Listen, Mr. Mark, I'm not really that nice in basketball, but is there anything that I can do, just to, you know what I'm saying, just kind of hang around the team or whatever?" And
Right.
I just put them to work, but they were appreciative of that, because it's just like, yo, I'm like, man, I'd rather be doing this than just being out in the street. You know what I'm saying? So I look at my nieces and my nephews. They all involved in the activities. My little
Mhm.
cousins all involved in the activities, right? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because when your kid gets a choice of whether to be involved in activities or not, that could end very bad. You know what I'm saying? I look at my own situation and thank God that he was able to save me from some situations that could have really went left. But I was one of them kids where it's just like I had time on my hands and I didn't really want to do X, Y, and Z. Look,
Mm-hmm.
streets, you know what I mean, look a lot more appealing to me. So this is what I want to do. Right. But nowadays it's different, because it's just like it's not what it was. So it's just really nothing but trouble. Right. So if you meet up with a kid and it's just like, yo, he ain't doing nothing. You meet up with another kid, all of a sudden y'all making a plan to rob the corner store.
Because
You
y'all
know what I'm
got
saying? All y'all got too much time on y'all hands. You know what I mean, to do that. So you can't, like, it's certain kids you can't even approach with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, we about to hit this lick on this store. I gotta go football practice. Y'all got that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because my nephews get approached with shit like that all the time. Yo, man, let's run down on this boy right here. He was talking shit. Yeah, that's nice, but I gotta go do this. I don't got time. Let me know how I work. Let me know how I work out. You know what I'm saying? So I think today is more is more things for these kids to get into that are negative. You know what I'm saying? Way more. You know, and the outcome ain't gonna be all that great. You know what I'm saying? At least back when I was doing it, it was something to work for. But now it ain't nothing to work for. It's just you really just playing like cowboys, and then just seeing what's going to happen. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You get in trouble. You running up a record. By the time, you know what I mean, you even hit 18, if you're alive, you know what I'm saying? Man, your rap sheet is longer than, you know what I mean, for real, your arm. You know what I'm saying?
So with those kind of kids, like there's different. I was looking this up, and each type of child is a result of each type of parenting style. So I'm gonna put this up to show you, because this actually, looking at this, I was like, that's very interesting, and some of this is like crazy. So it says your parenting style can affect everything from how much your child weighs to how much she feels about herself. It's important to ensure your parenting style is supporting healthy growth and development, because the way you interact with your child and how you discipline her will influence her for the rest of her life. Researchers have identified 4 types of parenting styles. There's authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. So I'm going to go through the first one. First one is authoritarian parenting. Do any of these statements sound like you? You believe kids should be seen and not heard. When it comes to rules, you believe it's my way or the highway. You don't take your child's feelings into consideration. That sounds like
you asking for trouble. You asking for trouble right there.
That sounds like most Black parents, though.
I haven't. Yeah, that's the nigga parenting right there. I haven't seen the other. I haven't seen the details of the other 3 yet. But all I know is that sounds like the nigga parenting.
Authoritarian parents are famous for saying, "Because I said so." Whenever the child questions them or asks them anything, they say, "Because I said so." They're not interested in negotiating nothing with the child. It's because I said so. Like, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Those kind of statements. It also mentions that they don't allow kids to get involved in problem-solving challenges or obstacles. Instead, they make the rules and force the consequences with little regard to the child's opinion.
Well, based off of that right there, I was definitely raised in a Joe Clark family. I was definitely raised in Joe Clark family. Because it's what my dad said and what my mom said for the most part. And it was I didn't like this shit when I was growing up.
Because I said so.
You know what? I didn't hear that too much. Because I said so. It was my mom was trigger happy. So I knew if I didn't listen, I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out. I'm gonna get beat the fuck out. I'm gonna get slapped. Something is following that either disrespectfulness or not following what she told me to do.
Yeah, so because authoritarian parenting style, they only do punishments. There's no disciplining at all. You didn't listen, you're gonna get punished. There's no explaining, nothing. Man, it's like it's like you run your household like you Hitler. Like, this is it, and if it's not this, then you're gonna suffer. Like, the only thing is do right or be punished.
You know what's
you want to go ahead, Mark?
No, only thing I was saying is, you know what's crazy though, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and I'm talking, you know what I mean, in our era. So I know it's worse now, but even in our era, when we had when you had somebody, you know, you went to school with, they couldn't go to no party, they couldn't go to no games. You know what I'm saying? If you couldn't call them, right? Even if it was on some schoolwork shit, right? Like if that phone rang after 7 o'clock, you know what I mean? For their parent be like, oh, it's too late to call. Why are you calling? Like, and then try to ask you questions. You know what I'm saying? I would just hang up. Just fuck that. I mean, no, we're not gonna do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like what happened, and it's a couple people I know who this happened to, and these were like good kids. They weren't running the street or nothing like that. But when they got to college, and I'm talking first semester, first week,
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, when what, like, yo, this how wild it was. This how wild it was, for this one girl I went to school with. I will not say her name, right? I'm in my man, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I ain't even gonna say the college either, right? But it was a college in Philly, right? I'm gonna say like this. He like, yo, man, we got like 3 Johns up in the room. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, we partying, right? You know what I'm saying? This is my freshman year of college, right? This is all our freshman year. We got 3 chicks up in the room. We about to party. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? Shoot, let's go. Right? I walk in the room and I see this girl and I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah, that's the freak I was telling you about. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how surprised I was to see her and my man talking about her in that manner. I just left the room. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just left the room because that was wild for me to see. It was almost like I was seeing like imagine if you see like your family member in the craziest place ever, at least in your mind, right? And this ain't my family member, it's somebody I went to school with. Like, but every time we talk is like schoolwork or did you watch Rap City or some shit or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But it was nothing more than that. It was never nothing like, even though she looked good or whatever, it wasn't nothing like, let me jump on that, because you already knew how our people's was. So ain't nobody really tried to talk to her because you wasn't even getting the first base with her. So didn't mean anything. But to see her in that room licking weed around and everything, and she about to run this thing with these niggas, I'm good. I'm just good. So that authoritarian thing, man, that could have a bad outcome. Very bad.
That children of these type of parents, they usually end up developing self-esteem issues because they felt like they never was valued, like their opinion was never valued. So they end up growing up with self-esteem issues because they always feel less than.
Well, my parents must have been a crossbreed. So my mom and dad was that. You know what I'm saying? It was no if they said something, it's not like I can please them to do something different.
Yeah.
But I was also able and comfortable going to talk to my mom about issues or about problems, or if I'm having problems with, like, whether it's a girl problem or it's life problem, shit like that. My mom we still had that dialogue where I could talk to her about just about any damn thing.
So let me mention the other ones, and then you could see which category.
All right, keep going back.
So the next one is authoritative, right?
Man, you gotta take that banner down.
Yeah, I am. So do any of these statements sound like you? You put a lot of effort into creating and maintaining a positive relationship with your child. You explain the reasons behind your rules. You enforce rules and give consequences, but you take your child's feelings into consideration. That's authoritative.
Okay.
Then we have permissive.
No, authoritarian.
Authoritarian was the first one. And then we have
authoritative.
Oh,
so they're different.
We have authoritative.
Okay.
Right. And then we have permissive. Permissive is you set rules, but you rarely enforce them. You don't give out consequences very often. You think your child will learn best with little interference from you. Then we have this one. The uninvolved parenting. You don't ask your child about school or homework. You rarely know where your child is or who that your child is with, and you don't spend any time with your child.
God damn.
None of us had them. None of us had them.
Yeah.
That never happened.
So
Nah.
now that you know all, so you have authoritarian, authoritative, you have permissive, and you have uninvolved.
All right, so my parents was a combination of the first two.
Okay.
My parents a combination of the first two. All right, so I was able to talk to my parents about stuff. Mainly my mom was my go-to for the
Yeah.
most part. But when I fucked up, it was no explanation. You know what I mean? It's not like I walked around in fear, but it was no, you go to timeout or you get a second chance. Or, all right, now next time, or it wasn't no over, it was no cry wolf, because parents, I feel like the current generation of parents do a lot of wolf tickets. You do that shit one more time, I'm gonna beat your ass. Then they do it. So then I
So
tell
they're
you,
the permissive one.
you must want. Oh, be like, oh, you must don't want to go to that basketball game on Friday. You know, it's shit like that with the current generation of parents. So when I said I was raised in a Joe Clark family, meaning it was consequences by negative actions, and they really believe in spare the rod, spoil the child. But like I said, at the same time, I had great relationships with both of my parents. While I was with my dad, we talk about sports, we talk about this and that. My mom, we talk about life, we talk about female stuff. It just, I had a curfew. All my friends were able to stay out later than me. All right.
Yeah.
All my friends had more leeway to go different places than me. I wasn't sheltered or anything like that. Not by a long shot. But I had my parents had boundaries on me more than most of my fucking friends.
And they say that this type of parenting is what most people try to do, but depending on circumstances, it could be where you live, it could be finances, it could be the amount of kids you have, it could be if you have someone to help you or not, whether you're single with someone that helps you or married, right? All of these things factor into the type of parent that you are. But authoritative parents, usually they do like a praise and reward system, right? If you break the rules, they'll explain to you broke the rules that you were given. But they try to more so discipline versus just straight give punishment. The underlying meaning is they want the child to understand that there are rules set that you have to answer to. If you don't answer to those rules, there are consequences. And if you don't answer to those rules, you're not going to get beaten, like to a bloody pulp, but you do have to understand what your consequences mean. And those type of children end up being more responsible adults.
That's what they supposedly say.
Authoritative parents usually results in those type of kids that are raised in that household. They understand how life works more. So there's rules, you follow them or you break them. Whatever your reward is for doing both, you understand. But you're also able to navigate through life better because you were raised in a situation where you wasn't raised in fear. Like you was able to express yourself and not be worried about being told, be quiet, shut up, your opinion don't matter. I'm the boss, you just do what I say. They're able to communicate better because they know the back and forth of how to communicate. They say that those types of children and authoritative parents are more functional adults.
I don't know about that shit, yo. Because I don't know about that shit because I know some, and like I said, there's a balance to everything. All right. But I know some people that never really got disciplined, did the little communication talk thing, and did not function well as adults. They had to kind of learn, it took them longer to learn how to be adults, how to the work ethic or how to I can't agree with that right there because it's a bad I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
It's too much leeway, too much communication. In my opinion, you can't let if a child feel too equal to you, that's a bad thing in my opinion.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily equal to you, but you give your child room to express, and you let them know that what the results are for breaking rules. But you're not like Hitler, like I mentioned, when it comes to that. They say that let me read it. It says they validate the children's feelings while also making it clear that the adults are ultimately in charge.
So let me give you an example. When I was in elementary school, elementary middle school, I come from a small town, so my it's easy for
what small town is that?
Georgetown, this motherfucker. So it's easy for my parents to know what the hell I did at school. It was easy for the word to get back to them. All right. Mm-hmm. So when it's with times I got in trouble at school, not anything big, but when my mom asked me about it, and I'm like, I ain't do that. And my mom, so you said the teacher lying on you? Is this a trick question? Because I know I can't say that adult is lying. You know, sir, you can't. So It was like my mom was like, that teacher ain't got no reason to lie on you. So it was one of those things like on certain shit. My mom did act as was that
authoritarian
with certain shit, and there's no explanation. It's like whap. But like I said, at the same time, my mom also taught me, but it's just certain shit. My mom's not gonna give me an opportunity to lie my way out of it. And I think a lot of the time you have some parents who feel like if they're really cool with their kids or they try to be more friendly, then their kid is going to tell them everything and they're going to have this kind of really good relationship with their kid. No kid's going to tell their parent everything, no matter how fucking cool you try to be with your parent.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Which one of these parenting styles fall under? You have that parent that said, well, I didn't like the way my mom and dad raised me, so I'm not raising my kid like that. But meanwhile, you're a productive, law-abiding citizen. So obviously your parents raised you somewhat right. So why would you change every fucking thing with your kids just because you don't like some of the shit that your parents did with you?
I'm gonna say like this is, to me, I was like, it's some things like, even though you went through those 4 or whatever, I'm just looking at how I was raised, right? And just some things are kind of like missing off the board,
right?
You know,
right.
I'm like, now my mom, you know, she wasn't strict, but you know, she demanded respect. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to go to school. You know, like, listen, you got to. I'm like, you know, my brother and sister got great grades, right? I mean, particularly my sister, right? But me, it was just like, after a while, it was just like, all right, man, look, long as you pass and go to the next grade, you know what I'm saying? We okay. And then, you know, just if you'll figure it out from there, right? So, you know what I'm saying? It was like it was different for me because it was just like once I got to the teenage years, you know, my mom, I couldn't understand her. But my dad understood me, and I always say this, my dad lived my life before I lived it. He really did. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really know who my dad was until I was a teenager. I didn't know the whole Philadelphia knew this man and respected this man in that way. So no matter what I did, he would know about it. Like, he would know about it and then just show up. If you ever seen Equalizer 2, if you ever seen that movie, right?
Yeah,
and there was a scene in there with Denzel's character McComb and the kid Miles.
Yes.
And he walked up in the projects with the guns pointed and he said, "Let's go, Miles. Let's go." Like, now my dad didn't walk anywhere with any gun or anything. But I'm like, man, he has came and got me from some places where I'm like, what you know about this? You know, son, I know everybody around here. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're leaving, right? You know, so we'll be like type of stuff where I don't want you telling your mom where you were. Just whatever your mom do, you know, you just gotta take that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So we did have a friendly relationship, but I knew he was still my father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my dad was the
So
same way. Like my dad, like I didn't realize, and I think this is for all of us. We don't realize, we don't see our parents as just people. Like we've always known them as our parents, but they were people before our parents. So we don't know that about them, right? It wasn't until I was older where I started to see my dad as Harold Grant, right? And my mom as Elizabeth Grant. Not just my mom and dad, but just as people before they had me. And it wasn't really up until maybe my 20s, I would say, and then especially at my dad's funeral, where it really clicked, like, wow. Like my dad was the PTA president in my high school. So I could not do nothing without him knowing. It was cool because my dad was personable. Everybody loved my father when they met him, and everybody was his friend. So for me, when we started to work together, I was Harold's daughter, and in the beginning, I was like, "My name's Rebecca. Thank you. Yes, I'm Harold's daughter, but I am Rebecca." Like, because they see us, me and my sister, grow up on his desk because he always had pictures of us. He always talked about us. So there was a name there. And I was like, what's going on here? When I started working there, everybody said, oh, I love your father, your father, your father, your father, your father. And I'm just like, okay, but I am my own person. Like, I'm not just his daughter. It wasn't until later in life, and then at his funeral, where I realized that, yo, my pops was loved by a lot of people. And it started to make me understand the way that he was with me. My father was strict. He's a Georgetown man. He was strict. He was raised by Dorothy Keith, like strict. Okay? But he was a little softy when it came to my mom and me and my sister. And he would be like, all right now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of leeway, but don't play with me because I am still your father. And that's like almost what you said, Mark. Like, yeah, there was rules set, and you knew not to play. Like, don't play around with me. I'm a cool dad, but don't play with me.
it's
Like I
always
always
going to be
say,
like certain things, like, you know what I'm saying, that you just not going to do. You're going to instinctively know this ain't going to work. You know, yeah. I mean, well, I
right.
know whatever I did wasn't going to work with my mom. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But with my dad, I like, these are the rules that I really try not to break. You know what I'm saying, or
Mhm.
whatever. But I'm gonna say, like, the one thing, you know, with these parenting styles is, I think, you know, you you have to be on top of your kids, right? But you also gotta show some flex. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, with the kids nowadays, I show a little more flex, and probably more than it was in our generation. In our generation, there's other people who could, you know, school us on some stuff or tell us some stuff or whatever. And this generation is not really like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? The kid kind of has to build, you know what I'm saying, a certain relationship with you for you
Mhm.
to be able to get through to him, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
or her. So in this generation, I think the communication has to be more. It doesn't mean that, you know what I mean, your kid ain't gonna follow the boundaries you set. But, you know what I mean, that lack of communication though, and just, yo, follow my rules anyway, that's
Right.
not gonna work with today's kids. A lot of them, it won't work. And I'm like, man, to me, the way that I see it, the kid that I was, I would fit in exactly what today's kids are. You still got to explain kind of why you're doing this. And just, my mom didn't understand it. No, just do what I tell you, and that's it. But my
Period.
dad understood that, you know what I'm saying? Because he was just like, you know, like, I don't want you going down a road that you can't get off.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna explain certain things to you, why this was not a good idea, why you didn't make a good move here, and things of that nature. So I'm like, for me to kind of understand today's kids, it's pretty easy for me because it's just like, I know what you're going through. I've been there. I've been exactly there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
So
just like, man,
what do you think about this permissive, where it says you set rules but you rarely enforce them? You don't give out consequences very often, and you think your child will learn best with little interference from you. How do you think that plays a part in how your children navigate through the world, and then how it affect them as they become an adult.
Yeah. That shit's absolute fucking worse.
You think that's worse than being uninvolved? Uninvolved says you don't ask your kid about school or homework. You are really there. Where you really know where your child is. You don't spend that much time with them.
So
that's just a parent who don't give a shit.
Yeah,
That's different.
I was about to say, if you uninvolved, ain't no parent that fucking uninvolved unless they have some kind of a serious issue or a problem. Either they're on drugs or they're like that's not a normal parent. Something is going on with them. So
it says uninvolved parents expect children to raise themselves. Like they don't have any time or energy for the children. They are oftentimes very neglectful. They may not be able to care for the child physically or emotionally on a consistent basis. It says at other times, uninvolved parents lack knowledge about child development, and sometimes they're simply overwhelmed with other problems like work, paying bills, managing a household. So it's not necessarily like they're a deadbeat parent, but they have so much going on that matters into running the household, like the bills, working, managing it, that being a parent kind of becomes last. It's like, I want to parent you, but I got to work to make sure that we have a roof over our head. So I may not be involved around all the time because I'm always working, so that way you have somewhere to sleep and eat. So it's not necessarily just deadbeat parent, but a parent that has so much going on that unfortunately this is crazy. But parenting comes last. It's like, I can discipline you. I can put you on punishment. I can teach you how to be decent human, but I need to work so that way we don't become homeless.
And sometimes you're talking about like the parent that you're explaining. Sometimes you're talking about a parent who has 2 jobs. Like they don't even have time to be home. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes as the kid, you just trying to figure it out. Right. Because the parent just really ain't there. It ain't that they don't love you. It's just they working 2 jobs to try to support this whole thing. You got brothers and sisters too. You're probably not the only kid. Yeah, that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like it.
I get it.
And Mark, I agree, but I don't like that title. I don't like that title.
Uninvolved.
The uninvolved. If it's a situation where I have to work, whether it's the mom or dad, all right. Most of the time that's a single parent household, whether it's mom or dad, right? So if they got to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet, to pay the rent and keep the lights on, I just don't like the title of uninvolved parents, because that is a circumstance where are they really uninvolved, or they just they're working so much just to be able to provide for the kids. That title, when I see that title and I read the stuff under it, I think of somebody that's either is on alcohol real bad, or they're on drugs real bad, or they're or they're a prostitute, they're in the streets. They have an influence stronger than their kids that they can't control. That's what I think of when it's uninvolved parenting.
It also mentions about uninvolved parents. It says a parent with mental health issues or substance abuse issues, for example, may not be able to take care of the child physically or emotionally on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and to me, that's different. That's not even a parenting. That's not a parenting style. That's not a parenting style. It's almost like that's something that could be used against parents that is having those kind of issues. Just the title scene. I don't like the title. I just don't like the title. The title is not fitting for me.
I mean, ultimately, though, even though the reason is more understandable, it does result kind of in that parent being uninvolved. It may not be a parenting style. It may be a parenting type. Like the type of parent that you are is just
a parenting situation to me. That's more of a situational thing.
Because here's
the thing, right?
You're truly a deadbeat, you don't seek to be uninvolved, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're a straight deadbeat.
If you working 2 jobs to keep the lights on and bring food in the house, obviously you give a fuck about your household and the family and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said uninvolved. That's why I said, because if you didn't give a fuck about your kids, you're not working 2 jobs to bring food, to put food, to keep food in, to keep the lights on, to keep the rent paid. You goddamn doing other shit uninvolved with somebody that's, they at nighttime, they gambling, they in the streets, they smoking, they hanging with their friends, shit like that. But usually people that falls in that, there's a certain, like I said, there's a certain influence stronger over them than their kids, and that's not normal. That's unnormal.
I like what Marsha says. She says, I was always told if you want to truly know if you're a good parent, ask the kids.
Nah, I don't believe that.
So Merv, you'll never ask your daughter, how do you think I am as your dad? Like, you'll never ask her that?
I will, but bring that back up. She said she was always told if you truly want to know if you're a good parent,
to ask your kids.
When you're young, you being a good parent depend on the mood. A lot of times, depend on the mood of
hell no.
Depend on the mood of your kid. If you just did something your kid didn't fucking like, and you ask your kid about you as a parent, they're gonna say, I either fucking hate you, or I don't like you, or he's a bad parent, he wouldn't let me do this. Especially if you got friends with parents let them do every fucking thing that in the long run is gonna be bad. So they're thinking, oh, he got great parents. He is allowed to damn go out. He's allowed to do that. She's allowed to do that. Mm-hmm. That's not fucking good parenting just because you allow it. So no, you can't just ask your fucking kid.
So Marsha's saying, what about when they're adults? Like, if once your daughter becomes an adult, would you ever have a conversation with her about how you were as a father?
But they're not kids at that point. They're an adult.
But they're still your child.
Huh?
I mean, they're still your child. Like, I'm going to always be my mother's child. So even as an adult, she may ask me, how was I as a mom? Do you think that's a beneficial conversation?
Nah. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you would ever even ask that. I think those conversations will come out, and all of us have got to talk to our parents, you know what I mean, for as adults, you know what I mean? Well, at least as young adults, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where all the stuff, you know what I'm saying, you kind of wanted to do and maybe wasn't able to do at that time, you start to understand, as an adult, of why, you know what I'm saying, it didn't go down the way you wanted to. And they won't have that conversation with you. You will have that conversation with them. You know what I'm saying?
You will bring it up, right, Mark? You just never bring up like your dad or mom. I remember you used to damn blah blah. I hated that shit. Right. But now I understand why the fuck. Yeah.
Me and my mom had those conversations a lot.
Hey, Marsha, I bet you've been told that shit in the past 5 to 10 years. There's no way you've been told.
Always somebody kid, grown or not.
There's no way. Yeah, but when you presented that shit like, I'm gonna ask my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old, my 13-year-old. But I wanna bet you heard that shit in the past 10 years in your adult life, not when you was a kid, because that's.
Yeah, she's saying her dad never asked her, but Marsha sounds like a daddy's girl like me. I'm the same way. But that's right, Mark, what you said. Me and my mom have had those conversations later in life, not necessarily as when I was younger or even a teenager, especially since my dad has died.
And guess what, Becca? She wasn't asking you shit. Hey, do you think I was a good parent? Like, she wasn't asking you that.
No, but it would be conversations that would come up, and she would say, Becky, your father, and just like what Murph said, as a kid, I was like, come on now, y'all bugging with this, y'all bugging. I'm a good kid, because I was a good kid. I never really got into much trouble. It wasn't until I was an adult that I was like, I get it. And then when I had Jasmine, I was like, oh, now I really get it. So there are going to be some times like your kid is not going to like you as a parent. That is very true. No matter what type of parenting style you have, you could be the best parent. You could be authoritarian. You could be authoritative, permissive, uninvolved. You could be whatever. There's going to be a time where a kid is going to be like, I do not like my mom today. Like, she's really getting on my nerves. Yeah. There'll be times where like, my dad is the worst. But when you grow up and you start to understand certain things, you get that time where your mom spazzed on you. You'll understand that. One time my dad locked me into my room. I was watching TV and I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do. My father went into my room and turned my TV against the wall. Right? That was my punishment. I couldn't watch TV. So my slick ass thought I was going to watch TV anyway, moved the TV a little bit from the wall, and my face is plastered to the wall. I'm trying to watch the TV and a little bit of slither that I could see. Harold Grant came in the room. Let me tell you something. I could have easily died that day. It would have been no problem. Y'all wouldn't even know me. My father was like, didn't I tell you? That was the time I was like, let me not try Harold. I was like, yeah, let me not do that. So there's gonna be time, but then now I wish my dad was allowed to still turn my TV to the wall. You know what I'm saying? So now I get where he was just like, listen, keep playing with me. And I'd be like, all right, well, let me just listen before this man hurt me. But not in a fear kind of way, but you realize, like what Murph said, you get it when you're an adult. You get it later in life, like, I understand why they was doing that with me.
I've had a childhood friend say that that I had a childhood friend that had those. He had freedom. You know what I'm saying? He could come home with bad grades or get in trouble or cut school or do certain stuff, and his freedom was really taken away. He tried to do the kind of like talk with him and kind of stuff like that, and he went astray. And when I met him, as an adult, he was like, "Yo, I sure wish I had followed you and Hyson instead of following
Stack's father.
instead of following because I mean, all of us. Well, I hung around friends that did some bad stuff, went astray or whatnot. But yeah, I had a childhood friend one time like when we were adults talking like, yo, I wish I had followed you and not the others. Maybe I wouldn't have endured the trouble that I end up getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
so, like there's a balance. There is a such thing as you can't be too friendly. You got in my opinion, you gotta instill some kind of fear in your kids. And it can't just be fear. And this is why I think the current generation of parents, they only want their kid to fear them.
Or the opposite, to be their friend.
And only want to respect them. At the same time being their friend. Everybody else, I don't really see parents making their kids say, what'd you say? You say yes or no, sir, or yes, ma'am, or being respectful to other adults currently.
Unless they've had that kind of growing up. Unless they've had that kind of parent. Because I think I'm a mixture of the first three. I'm definitely not uninvolved. That can never be me. But I'm definitely at certain times one of the other three. Because I'm that same way. I grew up with a type of household where we're not going to chain you and act like you're an animal and you have to do whatever we say, like left, right. A permissive parent is like more lenient, right? They step in when they definitely need to, but they do give a little bit more leeway, right? You have authoritarian, authoritative, which is more stricter than the others. But yeah, I definitely try to raise my child where I do set the rules. There are consequences if you break them, but I do allow my child to express herself. Because I remember times in my life, and I can't attribute this to the way I was raised, but I do remember that times where I wanted to say something and I couldn't. Not like that I was hushed, but I just couldn't get it out, whether there was no confidence or I felt like I was going to be shut down or my opinion wouldn't matter. I know how that feels. So I never want my child to feel like she can't come talk to me. So that's why I say she's able to express herself. Now, because she's 11, she expresses the hell out of herself. So I had to let her know time and place and tact and all of that. But I still try to let her know I'm not going to raise her to the point where she gets older and then says, I don't want to be the type of mom that my mom was to me. Like, I
Yeah.
want her to have good memories of her childhood. I don't want her to grow up and need therapy because of the way I raised her.
But you know
But
what
yeah,
though? I'll say like this though. I mean, just speaking for me, right? Like that first parent, the authoritarian parent or whatever, that would have never worked in my teenage years, ever. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad understood that. Like, I mean, he totally understood it, because he knew what was coming. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, but I appreciated that he would take time to explain things to me. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And he was just like, okay, let me like what worked on with my sister and my brother wasn't going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, even when he taught me a lesson, it seemed kind of extreme, but I understood it. You know what I'm saying? So even when I was a teenager, I would go, like, Dad, where we going? Oh, don't worry about that, son. You'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
Like, man, why are we at jail? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's in jail? You know what I mean? And a couple guys I know, and he had me in there in the jail. But I had, it was just like it was important for him to hear these stories from these guys of why they're here and why you don't want to be here.
and
You
you
know
know
what I'm
Yeah.
what?
saying?
And you know what's crazy, Mark? You'll probably have some parents that say that was extreme. That could be traumatic to a kid.
Oh yeah,
You shouldn't
Uh-huh.
go. You shouldn't go through all that. But like I said, it's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yes.
Some kids you could use. Some kids need a belt. Some kids need extension cord. Some kids need a jail. Some kids it's different ways.
Mhm.
But you gotta instill. In my opinion, if you instill fear within the kid, and when, like Marsha said, not fear of you, but fear of what you may do to
Mm-hmm.
the kid if you act up. If you gotta instill some kind of fear and respect into your kid early, and
Yeah.
you will be able to do more talking later. But you can't wait
Mhm.
to 13 or 14, 15 to try to get them to respect you or
Right.
fear of the consequence. By that time, it's too fucking late. That's one. And here's the other thing. Mark, you said something that is crucial. That where a lot of, well, I feel like mainly in the black community, that is, we don't really understand. You say your dad raised you one way,
Mhm.
taught you one way. Your mom was taught the opposite, had a
Mm-hmm.
way of raising you and teaching you.
Mhm.
But with your mom coming from this angle, your dad coming from that angle, you related to your dad at some point more than your mom. And
Mhm.
then the other phase of your life, you related more to your mom than your dad. It's called balance. And that's why
Yeah.
it's so fucking important to have the dad and the fucking mom involved with the kid's life, where the dad got his way of discipline, his mom got his way of discipline, dad got his way of communicating, mom got her way of communicating, mom got his way of rewarding the dad. It's so fucking important
Yep.
parenting for the dad and the mom to be involved and influenced in your life, because one of them you're going to fear more than the other. Where, okay, like for example, my mom was trigger happy. You know what I'm saying? No warning. I say something
She would
wrong.
shoot first, ask questions later.
I didn't get no warning. I'm getting hit the fuck up. But I would still try my mom before I tried my fucking dad. My dad has never beaten me. He has never fucking touched me. My mom was a fucking, I done got extension cord, belt, hanger, shoe, on and off the foot. Anything that can be deemed as a fucking
He said
weapon
shoot on and off
on
the
and off
foot.
the foot. I used to try to be smart. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fall on the floor. And then one time she stuck me. I ain't fall no more. You know what I'm saying? But I was still more comfortable talking with my mom about stuff than my dad. And I will still listen quicker to what my dad tells me than my mom. But them together, I was raised with very good balance of parenting.
Yeah.
Because I was still, because my dad was like that's the sports, et cetera, et cetera. My mom, that's life issues. And here's the other thing. They really believe in a village. So somebody in the neighborhood could see me doing wrong, and they call one of my parents, they're not questioning that adult that called them. They immediately call me like, yo, where the fuck you at?
Yep.
No, somebody told me what the fuck you was doing.
You would get beat a minimum of 4 times for the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, you call
Minimum.
a parent and say, well, your child is, mind your fucking business. Don't worry about the fuck my child doing. Then none of your concern before I come see your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right?
But
I won't call again. Next thing you know, your child is in fucking prison.
But you know what? You know what's crazy though? Like what I see from these kids today, at least the ones that you know I interact with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them want the discipline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they you know they feel like I know I'm gonna do something where I'm gonna fuck it all up, and it's gonna cost me, you know, some real time. You know what I mean in my life, whether y'all get locked up or whatever happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised how many want the discipline. They okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, just be fair in how you treat me and how you treat, you know what I mean, others. You know what I'm saying? Even if you deal with it different, you know, just be fair about it. You know, now every generation has knuckleheads. We get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, some that just they got to go through the extreme, you know what I mean, to learn the lesson. We got them in our own families, so we understand that. But a lot of these kids today, they want the discipline. They okay with it, right? Just, you know what I mean, just talk to them. And you be like, man, you know what I'm saying? So I guess the thing that I feel bad about, you know, when I gotta you know what I mean, for go and see, you know, one of my young boys who locked up or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel bad because like I didn't get to him in time. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But even he's like, damn, I wish I'd have met you, you know what I mean, on the outside. Maybe life would have went different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, man, you know, I really don't have all the answers, but the one thing that I see my dad do that I do, my dad, you know, just invite everybody over. We breaking the grill out. We gonna eat. We gonna fellowship, right? So I do the same type of shit. We just gonna fellowship, you know. And you know, maybe you ain't gonna be as mad, or you don't want to be, you know, machine gun killer or whatever. You don't want to be that guy right now. You know what I'm saying? We just eat. You know what I mean? So even when you go to the jail, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because the food they have is bad, but them sandwiches they got in the vending joints is all right. So when I go and see my young boys, they might bring 2 more young boys. And then we just talk, we just sit and talking about life and what you're gonna do when you get out of here. And the ones who can't get out, I'm like, guess what? You still get a chance to better yourself and be, I mean, the best person you can be. So life ain't over. And I try to tell them that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But
do you think that
you know,
that the way that you parent your child has to change with age, or whether you have a daughter or a son? Do you think all of those things matter, or do you parent the same way no matter what?
I think it'd probably be a little different, you
Yeah.
know, with
The
it
major
with
thing is
each.
the gender. The major thing is the gender.
So you think the gender of the child matters more than the age, as far as how you parent?
Not matters, but it's because to me you can't raise a boy the same way you raise a girl. You can't raise a girl the same way you raise a boy. Is at the it's 2 different survival skills that I'm speaking as a father, and I'm pretty sure a mother will feel differently. But as a father, it's 2 different survival skills, life survival skills that you're going to instill into your son. And it's going to be completely different when you talk about life survival skills that you instill into your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the gender is going to affect how you parent those 2 right there, because it's different situations and scenarios of how life come at you.
So give an example of because I feel like the general life skills, the things that will make someone a decent human, has to apply to both men and women, right? But I do think that there are probably certain things that will make a difference. We both have daughters, right? But you are, you know, both men, so you can give that perspective. What would be a thing that in a situation where you would teach your daughter how to survive that situation this way, and you would teach your son a different way to survive that same situation?
Okay, and don't focus too much on the word survival. I probably should use a better word.
Okay.
But for example, when your daughter grows up and gets involved in a relationship, is very different, vital to what she sees her father, how her father treated her, instilled in her how a man is supposed to treat, supposed to treat her,
Mm-hmm.
and what she will accept or not willing to accept. So that's one of the things right there, as far as like a relationship status. And to keep it consistent, always the same thing. With a guy, with your son, you basically just showing them about, this is how you need to have about manners and mannerisms on treating a girl. But with with your daughter, I know some. I know some people that haven't had they didn't have their father in their life or whatnot, and it has trickled down into their relationships as an adult.
Absolutely.
And ones that have had their dad in their life, they're like, you could notice the significant difference on how they are when it comes to dealing with men in their adulthood, in the relationship or dating, or what they wanted to accept or not accept. So that's one thing right there. So you could call it, I don't know if you call that life or survival, but that's one example.
Yeah, just a situation. I can understand that.
Yeah. And then, with your son, like, I might not be so, hey, daughter, if you get pulled over by the cops, I need you to put your hand on the steering wheel, cut the lights on, pull all the windows down, call the lights on the car, put the windows. With my son, I gotta make sure I show him something, like teach him something like, look, so if you get pulled over, put all the windows down, cut the lights on, all the lights inside the car, put your hand on the steering wheel. Or when he's in the corporate world, he may be looked at as being intimidating, or looked at a certain way where you got to conduct yourself in this certain way. You got to be like a chameleon, know when to how to act in this way, not act in this way. So, and with your son, that's why I say it's different depending on whether you have a son or daughter. Coming from a father standpoint.
Mark, what do you think? I know you don't have children, but when you
got nieces and nephews though, so I know
right,
he got nieces and nephews.
So in a situation where you have to teach, it's a teachable moment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the difference in how you would try and tell your nephew something versus you would tell your niece?
I'm just like, Matt, well, you definitely going to talk to him a little different. So like the wording won't be the same. That part I understand. Like, even, with, what I'm saying, for my younger nieces are getting older, they're teenagers now. So you gotta you talk to them about the boys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, and just like with my nephews, I talk to them about the girls. I mean, the conversations are a little different. It's more, I think, I'm a little bit more intense with my nieces, because I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, they'll tell me like, yeah, this boy said this, or we was going to do that, we was going to hang out or whatever, right? And then I'll just tell them, this is the type of game he about to run. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, your uncle did this before, so this is exactly what he's about to do, because look how he approached you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll look at it like, you really think that, right? So I'll give you an example. So my niece, right? She has a friend, for in school, right? And her and these two boys was like going to go to the movies and then go get some pizza afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to tell my niece, I'm like, hey, it might look like y'all hanging out as friends. Guess what it probably really looks like and what he's thinking. He's thinking double date. Nah, I don't even like him like that. But guess what though? If you go out, what you think he gonna tell his boys in the school? He gonna tell them, yeah, I went out on a date with her. I went out with her. You know what I mean? And he might embellish some more shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I like watch for these little traps, because right now it's like the young boy mind ain't really developed really to run real game, but you can see how it start though. So I'm just like, this is what it is, right? Now my nephews, they might get in situations, and I'll tell them, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I told my nephew this one time, I was just like, you went, you know what I'm saying, to see this girl, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? He's like, Uncle Mark, he calls me Uncle Mark. You think you call me an Uber? Because I'm out here or whatever. And okay, cool. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, can I roll with you today? Okay, cool. No problem. I call you the Uber. So I call him an Uber. And he explains to me what happened. He was just like, yo, I went to see this girl. She told me to be here at this time. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But then I had to bounce, because, her mom was coming home. Like, nephew, like, she just ran game on you. She was lying. Like, you the side dude. Like, the real dude's coming over after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you said you left. And when you were leaving, she was jumping in the shower. Like, you think she was just jumping in the shower because she just wanted to get cleaned up? Nah, she's getting cleaned up, you know what I mean? Because she's ready for whoever the boyfriend is. Yeah, but she told me that was over. Nah, nephew, it ain't over. You just the dude that she gonna just call when she can get that off. So even though we're talking about relations between boys and girls, I'm just like, man, I gotta tell them when game is being ran on them, no matter what the situation is. So I was just like, man, but I'm a little more intense with my nieces, because I don't want no. I'm like, if a dude run game on them, he was good. But he ain't gonna come with no weak shit over here. And that go for little cousins and whoever. It ain't gonna be no weak shit, and he ran it on him. You know what I'm saying? Unless she wanted it to get ran on her. You know what I mean? I can't stop that one. But I was just like, but I'm like, man, but if she ready, you know what I'm saying, then little bullshit ain't gonna happen, But I see what the young boy was trying to do, trying to set up the double date. I'll peep that. I like this how it's gonna look in the school. So you do what you do.
That reminds me of what you said, Merv, in regards to dating, like women that had their fathers versus women that didn't have their fathers. Like, this is something that we had mentioned on a previous pod. Like, the way that my dad was, it made it very hard for men to date me, because my dad did a lot. My dad was, the first guy in my life to ever love me, right? So there would be certain things that men would do, and I wouldn't be impressed because my dad did that. Like,
right, exactly.
You're not doing anything special, because that type of treatment I got from my father. So you got to come better than that. And I know a woman who did not grow up with her father, who is a hopeless romantic, like flowers, and she's like putty, right? For me, I love flowers, yes, but I'm not gonna become putty with flowers and candy and a card. And I think that's, people always joke like, yeah, you from New York, you from Brooklyn, like y'all chicks is rough. It has nothing to do with that. It's more so for me, my dad the way he treated my mom, he showed that same love to me and my sister. So we didn't feel like we had to get it from men. So there would not be certain things that a man could do to impress me, because I've been there, done that. Like, I've gotten those type of, I guess, I don't want to say romantic, but those type of loving gestures from my dad. So men would do that, and they would think that would be a way to get women. But if you've dated a woman that has her father in her life, you will have to work a little bit harder. Not saying that women that don't have their fathers are easier, but I do see a difference, which is the reason why which is the reason why, for when it comes to Jasmine, I've always been taught I'm tough on Jasmine, and I've always had to be, because it was just me. My husband came into the picture and showed something that my daughter had never seen. She had once never seen me loved by a man. she has never lived with the man. I've never lived with the man until my husband either. So all of us are learning this new, in the beginning for the first time. But, the more time that passes, I see my daughter and my husband having their own relationship. That's something that she never had up until now. So I know that there were certain aspects that she was missing.
That's going to be so fucking beneficial long term with her.
And I kind of wish that she knew, me being a daddy's girl, I kind of wish that she was a daddy's girl also. I know that feeling. I wish that
How old is your daughter?
Father had more of a presence in her life, but he doesn't.
How old is your daughter?
I was told not to stress that because everything happens for a reason. So my husband is taking that place.
And the kid and the kids, as they grow older, they'll see for themselves. The kids will see for themselves. You don't have to stress.
They're not dumb at all. They see it.
There's no need to do parent bashing and stuff like that because kids will grow up and see on their own. But how old is your daughter?
She's 11. She was 9. Okay. I want to say we met. She was 9 when me and my husband first met. Okay. So now we're going on our 3rd year of being together, and this is really the only time that she has had a man consistently in her life, because she never met anybody I dated. It wasn't until my husband came along where it was like, okay, this is different, and here we go, next stage of the relationship. And now the two of them, they have their own little thing, and I'm just looking and
tell the truth. You be a little jealous, don't you?
I don't be jealous because my daughter is a mini me, so he's getting it twice. So like, earlier she texted him and he was like, "Look at what Jasmine texted me," and I was like, "That's my kid. Like, she's a little mini me." But I look and I get happy inside because I know how it was when my dad was there. And even at 41, I still wish that my dad was there. So when I look at the two of them together, it brings 41 years of memories that I have of my dad. And now, finally, she will be able to have that too. She can look back when she was a kid and a teenager and have a man there to protect and to school her and to be the first man that she actually gets love from, that doesn't want anything from her.
Okay. Now we've been talking a lot about the daughters, but the sons are just as important because sons need to grow up to see that you should be a father within your kid's life. Also, to know how to make a woman feel like a woman, how to treat a woman respectfully when they start dating or when they get older. That's why it's so important. It's like, I can't stress how important it is for both, if possible, for both parents to be involved in that kid's life, because the mom, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna give the reverse. You know how the dad and the daughter, it's the mom and the son.
Yes.
They have that kind of relationship, the mom and the son and the dad and the daughter.
And that's my husband. My husband is like, over his mom, it will be hellfire. Over his mom is like, I will literally kill you over my mother. Like, don't play at all. Like, there's been times where, single mom situation. So he was the only, just like my dad, the only guy there, surrounded by a bunch of women. It's just him, his sister, his mom. And you get that type of, I know a lot of men who grew up in those situations that will do any and everything for their mother. Not that their fathers don't matter, but for some reason the sons cling to their moms. I know my friends who are boy moms that's like, yo, my sons are so clingy, it's just ridiculous. Because that's how daddy's
girl. That's why it's like daddy's girl, mama's boy is just the opposite connection, but between the two. That's why usually the when it comes to the daughter, the mom usually the one that has to um instill the discipline, because
Yes.
usually the daughter have the daddy wrap around the finger. And just like with the son, with the son is usually the dad that instilled the discipline with the son. Because a lot of times the mom be like, well, let him get it. It wasn't that bad, so let him get away with it. The dad like, nah, hell no.
Yeah.
That's usually how it ends up.
Mm-hmm.
From the parent standpoint, from the parents' point of view, between the sons and the daughters, those that got both sons and daughters.
So before we go, I'm going to ask you guys to give me 2 examples. I'll start with you, Mark.
Mhm.
For when you can apply this to your nephew and your nieces, or when you have your own children. What is one thing that you are for sure going to want to do as a parent, and one thing that you definitely are not going to do as a parent?
I'm like, for me, whatever life experience I've been through, I have to share with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, if I have a son, but how I do my nephews, I have to share that with them, because I'm just like, I can't have you go down this road and not knowing anything. That ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna work if you don't know. Now, if you know and you choose to do that, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing really I could do there. But if I can get that to you, before it even happens, at least it'll get it on your mind and your conscience. Yo, my uncle, just talked to me about that. That's not gonna work. You might think differently, you know what I'm saying, when it's time. And it's just like, kind of how to conduct yourself and things like that, how you move when you out here. With my nephew, I'm just like, yo, you look, you go to one of these parties, right? I'm like, yo, some shit go down. I like, when you go into the party, look at every landmark when you're going to the party, right? So you know what a McDonald's is, you know what a Subway is, you know where a phone, you got your phone on you, but you know where stuff is. So that way, like, if something happened, you know what I'm saying? And if something happened, you can make a call, you could do this, and always keep a little bit of money on you. Don't go nowhere without no money. Keep a little bit of money on you, because I'm like, something go down, then bang, you know what? I'm gonna roll up in the pizza shop. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stay here for about like a half hour. Let that shit die down, and then I'm gonna call you, to call me an Uber or something. Right?
Yeah.
With my nieces, or what I mean, for if I have a daughter or something like that, it would be like, listen, you can't fall for these blockheads. What the game they trying to run. So I was like, man, I'm like, now, if game get ran on you, it's not because you didn't know, it's because you just was on this dude. You just accepted whatever he said. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want no bull running game on you because he seems slick. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you every single move of what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want that happening to you, because I'm just like, how, when you ask yourself, how do girls, when they're in junior high school, get tricked to go in the boys' bathroom and shit like that,
Right.
or the stairwell and shit? How does that happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you think it's not so much, that, oh yeah, she just, I just want to be, a girl who out there, I want to be a hoe. It don't even start out that way. It's just that, she didn't have anybody tell her this ain't the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Persuasion.
told her that. So, but if somebody tells her that, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be in the boys' bathroom. I shouldn't be in the stairwell, during lunch. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And it's like little simple things like that, just for her, to know how to move, right? Or if she's dealing with a guy, and he's a real street guy, you got to also be aware of your surroundings, landmarks, things like that. Like, man, his habits, tendencies. I'm like, as a woman, and as a little girl, you got to start to pick that up early. So when you do get to adulthood, oh man, I can see this coming from around the corner. He seems a little crazy. He seems like this. He seems like that. That way you gonna probably pick a better quality man if you know shit when you young. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
What
what I
about you,
was saying.
Merv?
What's the question again?
One thing that you definitely will do as a parent, and one thing that you definitely won't do as a parent.
Shit, I probably would do 80, probably about 80% of everything my parents did. As far as like the fear of the consequence, the discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like I spanked my daughter for the first time when she was 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only had to do it one more time. But you know, my daughter, she's sensitive. Like I can, like when I yell. So like I could just yell at her and she'll start crying. So I mean she's a good kid. She don't like getting in trouble and she's sensitive. But as far as like exposing her to different things, you know what I'm saying? Like I traveled a lot as a kid. They whether through family or through like groups that my parents had me a part of. So like my kid done been on a cruise. She done been to Disney World. She been to Sea World. She done been to Houston. She done been to Georgia. She done been to Virginia. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So about 80%. And also like Mark said, you know, just being aware of natural things, as a person, stuff that you want to be aware of. The 10 to 20% that I won't do. So believe it or not, I don't curse around kids. Like Daddy Merv is a whole different person that nobody sees unless you around me and my daughter, and not many people is around me and my daughter. So I don't curse, I don't argue, I don't watch radar movies when my daughter's around me. Like I don't do stuff like that.
So your daughter knows Marvin. She doesn't know Merv.
Yeah, she knows Marvin. Yeah, correct. Now, one thing about my parents, they used to argue and fight and curse, and I do remember how that made me feel. So that's why I don't curse around kids. I don't like to argue, and I definitely don't argue in front of kids. But you got some parents that curse like a sailor, argue whatnot. So that's the one thing that I won't do. But like everything else that my parents did, yeah, I'm doing it because I've never been in trouble, never been never been arrested. It's like law-abiding citizen, and I try to be a good adult. So I mean, it's not really too much I need. I should change. Why? There's no need to fix what's not broke. So the way my parents raised me wasn't broke, except they did the arguing and the cursing, and I fixed that shit because I
Right.
don't argue and curse around my kid.
I think for me, one thing that I definitely took from my dad is expression. Right. My dad was the person I went to, and so I could tell my dad everything. My mom was a little bit more stricter. So if I told her something, I already knew she was going to come back with either advice or judgment. So I always went to my dad. I didn't realize until older that used to bother my mom. Like there would be times she wanted discipline and my father would step in like, I'll take care of it. I got it. Right. So one thing that I would definitely do though is allow my daughter to express herself. She can tell me anything. She can tell me the way, however she's feeling it. If she's upset, if she's mad, if she's sad, I let her just express it the way that she's feeling it. I got that from my dad, so I'm going to make sure I pass that down to her. One thing that I definitely won't do is shield her from reality. Like you have some parents that don't want their kids to know certain things about people or about the world because they don't want to expose their child to that kind of ahead of time. I do have, discernment when it comes to that. But I let Jasmine know that the world that she is living in is not all good. Right? So I don't shield her from the reality of where she comes from, who she comes from, the type of world that she's about to get into. I don't want her to learn those when she gets out in the world and makes all of those mistakes. I want her to know that beforehand. So I let her know there are people that are not going to like you because of your skin. There are going to be people that don't like you because you have a mom and a dad. There are going to be people that don't like you because you're very talented, because you're very pretty. So these things that she's so used to just being herself, because I let her be herself at home, that sometimes when she gets out in the world and she's herself, a lot of the teachers, I get emails about her personality and she's this and she's that. And yes, there is time and place, but I don't stop her from knowing these things about people.
Yeah, and you know what? That's I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if we discussed that on here a lot, but my dad, ever since I was like little, he used to have conversations like that with me. Like when we just driving somewhere, going to Myrtle Beach or whatnot, you have conversations, and I wouldn't say one in one ear out the other, but it just went. I was able to relate. Like I listened, I heard it, but it was just like, okay, dad. Okay, dad. Okay, and it might be it was stuff like you just said that son, all your friends ain't gonna be your friends. Some of your friends are gonna turn on you. Some of your friends is gonna wrong you. All right. Everybody you call a friend ain't a friend. And now granted it took a while, but I understood what the fuck he was talking about in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He also kind of said stuff like, you gotta watch out for, I know how much you are family oriented. You gotta watch out for family members, because it's usually the family members that would do you the worst.
Yeah.
And he was talking from experience. My dad owned a gas station. He used to hire, bring his nephews, let his nephews work there to help them out for money and stuff like that, family.
Yeah.
And then find out years later, people were stealing from out the cash register, pumping gas with their friends, not making them pay for it and stuff like that. And before he had to end up getting a new gas station, there was family that helped took down his first gas station. Family and friends, people that you call friends and family. Right. And he used to talk me about that, but it didn't register until I got older. And I'm like, my dad told me shit like this is going to happen. So yeah, like that is, we didn't really talk about that much, but you're right. That is very important for you to start dropping that bug in your kid's ear when they're young. But then as they get older, you can give them some more details.
Yeah.
And when they get older and older, you can be like, okay, here's what happened, frankly, and right here, boom. But yeah,
because my daughter goes to a diverse school, so a lot of her friends are of other races. So it wasn't until the past few years where I let her know what a black person is, a white person is, an Asian person, a Chinese person. She didn't, all she knew was different skin color, but she didn't know different races. So I had to teach her that. And with those different races comes mindsets. And to her, she just wants to be everybody's friend. But somebody will see her, because I've actually overheard her telling another friend, stop being racist. She's 11. Why would she have to tell another kid stop being racist? One kid said something to her about her hair, and they was like, why is your hair so thick like that? Like, why is your hair not straight and curly? And she used to feel self-conscious about that. She would want me to straighten her hair, and I'd be like, I'm not straightening your hair. Tell me the white kids come see your mother. Like, I could pull up to the school. I fight kids. Like, but I had to let her know that those are real things. The bullying is not just because kids bully each other. Sometimes there is other reasons why you get certain treatment, and you could just be sitting there minding your black business. So I have to let her know. My parents didn't shield me, but there were certain talks they did not have with me, because I guess maybe because it just maybe wasn't an issue back then. I also went to a diverse junior high school and high school. I also knew people.
Well, you was raised in New York?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't as bad. I mean, racism everywhere, but it's much worse in the South compared to the North. So you definitely got to have that kind of conversation.
Yes.
Down here in the South.
Yes,
Man.
absolutely. So
But
that's
I'm
one
a
thing.
oh go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Beck. No, I was just saying, like, to me, when you talk to kids, you really gotta tell them, you know what I mean, to be yourself and love yourself.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you really have to do that. Like when my nephew, he's a rapper, right? But when he first started rapping, and I heard like one of the first rhymes, and I'm like, the stuff he was saying, I'm like, you don't do none of this shit. Like, oh yeah, we want to run down on ball and all. I'm like, who you ran down on? That ain't
Right.
even your life.
Right.
You know, I was just like, nephew, listen, trust me, like, even though, I think you're good at putting the words together, guess what? People gonna be able to see through that because that ain't you. You know what I'm saying? And when you put that type of energy out there, that energy comes back. So somebody could hear your rap or whatever, and
Yep.
then you could be anywhere. You could be on the street, just going to play basketball, whatever you're doing, right? And somebody gonna test you right then and there. Oh, I heard that. I heard your SoundCloud. What's up with it? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So I'm like, nephew, you gotta talk about the things that you actually do and what you relate to. And I'm like, listen, if the beat hot, you know what I mean, you could put them words together. Trust me, I'm just like, people gonna feel you anyway. You don't have to talk this gangster shit that you ain't never do. It's one thing if you did it, I get it, but that ain't your life. You know what I mean? That might have been my life for a time, and that might have been some of your cousin or the cousin's life, but that ain't your life. So I'm just like, so I had to tell him, I'm like, man, write down the things that you like to do, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we just was going over. You like to go to the mall, you like fresh sneakers, you like girls. Even though this is like when he started rapping, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was talking to a bunch of girls or whatever, because he ain't even have all his game together and everything. Because he's started doing that at like 12. So he ain't really have all that together. But I'm like, this is the shit that you like. Going out to eat, you know what I mean, hanging out with your cousins, this is the shit you like. Hooping. You know what I'm saying? Rap about this shit. You know what I mean? Be authentic with that. They going, you know what I mean? For everything will be fine. And then once he started doing that, he's just like, man, he was like, you was right. You know what I mean, I don't have to try to be somebody I'm not. I was just like, man, don't be. I'm like, listen, a lot of these rappers, some of them are trying to be people they not. And then you see the type of energy that comes to them, and it's just like, oh yeah, such and such got shot, or this happened or that happened. You
Yep.
think they wanted to get shot? You think they wanted to get locked up, or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So it's more sometimes, you got to tell the kid, be yourself. You know what I mean? And love yourself. You do not have to be another person, you know what I mean, to do that. Because I'm just like, listen, I've been through that where, you young, you know what I'm saying? And you on them corners, you know what I mean? And you want to be harder than what you are. And you want to, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you know. But I'm just like, that comes with consequences too. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have been myself all the way when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of the shit that happened wouldn't have happened. So be yourself. And I'm trying to tell you, there ain't nothing fun about being a tough guy, because trust me, they ain't around. They in jail or they dead. They not
You, you
around.
know, you know what else? We kept okay. We talking about parenting. We talking about parenting styles, and I didn't bring it up, but so I told y'all before. I was a oops, I'm pregnant baby. So my parents had me when they was 43. So my siblings are like 15 years older than me. And I brought this up because it's almost like I had several parents.
I can believe that.
Yeah, like for real. And Mark just made me think of it, like how the communication he had with his dad and certain stuff. So my brother, when I was growing up, he was my big brother, but he was like a parent / brother that communicated with me. I got a lot of my life lessons from him that I didn't. It's almost like my parents had a cheat code, because what they didn't do, or if it's something they didn't do, my brother that was 15 years older than me made up for it. Yeah, made up for it. So it was a lot. He had a lot of influence on my life as well. So he gave me a lot of, I don't know if you can call it big brother / parenting advice because being so much older than me, but he's a lot of things that Mark was talking about that him and his dad talked about, and that we talk about like communication. Is what my brother did with me. A lot, a hell of a lot.
I wish I had brothers. It's just me and my sister. I sometimes do wish, like, I wish I had a brother. Like, I tell my brother on you. I get my brother on you. Like, I always wanted to be like that. Be that little girl to be like, you can't do nothing to me. I'm gonna call my brother.
Man, listen, you know what I mean? I'm glad you didn't, because you be getting in a lot of beef, you know what I'm saying, based on that. Just like, man, I didn't, my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Well, my sister, not so much. I think I only got in one thing, you know what I mean, about her, because some dude was talking a little greasy to her. But my cousins, though, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, where I got to go now? I'm all over the city, you know what I'm saying? My cousin be up here at the school. Don't worry about it. Talking real tough to the boy. And then you got to go handle that. Like,
yeah, you got to go handle that.
Goodness, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you got me beefing with the whole city. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit ain't cool. Seriously.
Thank you so much, guys, for tonight. This is a good topic. We'll be back to the ratchet next week.
No doubt.
For sure. I'm sure we'll be back to it. Mark, you got the floor. You have any final words?
Shoot. I'm gonna say like this: if you're raising kids in today's climate, you know what I'm saying, it's good to be honest with them, right? And I would say like this and try to explain some things. You'd be surprised how receptive they will be. And if you feel like you're having a little bit of a hard time, lean on others. Don't just be like, oh yeah, well, I'm the parent, you know what I'm saying? And like if I don't get through to them, then ain't nobody getting through to them. Don't take that approach. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, listen, I was like, they got OGs on the block, they got old heads in the family, maybe the coach, maybe the uncles or whatever. It's somebody or maybe a boy you deal with, you know what I'm saying, just to explain some of life to them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, don't feel like you don't have nobody really to go to when you're raising a child, because you'd be surprised there's others that you can go to, and you'll be surprised how receptive that they'll be. Like, oh, but they'll never open up to me like that. Well, you know what I mean? You got a chance, you know what I mean, for real, to kind of fix that a little bit. If you that first parent we was talking about, the authoritative parent or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You got a chance to soften that a little bit so you can get through to your kid, you know what I'm saying? And then just get the help of others. I'm like, man, it ain't like you don't have no friends out here or don't nobody bang with you. Somebody bang with you. So if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's some help right there, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta reach out, man, and sometimes you gotta put down your sword and be like, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I can't do it on my own all the time. Maybe I just can reach out for a little help every now and then or some advice. There's nothing wrong with that.
Cool. My final word is, it doesn't matter what type of parent that you are. Just make sure that you set your kids up to become decent humans, right? At least make sure that there is something that your child can learn from you. Life happens to a lot of people at any moment in life. So you don't know when a situation may come along that's a teachable moment. This world is very different for our children than it was for us. It's completely different. The stuff that my daughter deals with, I never had to deal with at 11. So my only thing would be to, whatever type of parent that you are, just do right by the children that you have. It is very important for their upbringing, because I know a lot of adults who you can tell they was not raised right. Sorry, they just was not raised right. You can tell that they needed something when they were a child that they did not get, and they became the type of adult that they are. So just try your best with your kids. There's no manual to it. There's no perfect parent. But just try and do the very best that you can with what you got. Merv, your final words, and then if you don't mind, take us out.
All right. Listen. I know. Okay, you got the 20s, 30s. You got different decades. You got the 1900s. You got the 2000s. Look here, y'all.
1900s. Oh,
I'm
that
just
sounds so
saying. In
ancient.
2000s. Yeah, we're in the 21st century. Well, listen, man. Don't be no punk ass parent. Just don't be like you can't be no punk ass parent. When I say don't be no punk ass parent, that's not. I'm not telling you, yo, go and beat the fuck out of your kid. I'm not saying that. Yo, kids need discipline. All right, and I would love to know the authors of these articles, Becca, that you posted, whether white people wrote it or black people wrote it,
What you?
because that really determines a lot. A lot of stuff is perspective. You know what I'm saying? Now, authoritative, authoritarian, and uninvolved. A lot of shit is perspective. My thing is, make sure you instill discipline in your kids. You gotta let them know that there's a such thing as consequences, and you let them know that early, because when we become adults, the consequences won't be punishment from the mom or dad. The punishment is gonna be 20 to life or 10 to 15. So you can't be your best friend. You can't be friends with your kids. And the balance to everything. Teach your kids how to communicate. Teach your kids how to love, and teach your kids to understand there's a consequence to every fucking action. And don't be scared to instill that when needed.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation and the circumstance. All right. And I feel sorry for the current parents, because a lot of parents is scared to raise their kids how they want to raise their kids for fear of going to jail.
Yes.
And that's sad, and I really think that's affecting our youth. I feel like the youth have more rights than the parents, because the government and stuff won't allow, or you got people that record and then send DSS to your house. Meanwhile, their kids is disrespectful or on their way to jail. And so we have to learn we gotta learn how to be good, stern, and lovable parents in the day's time that makes it hard with cameras and these all this Dr. Phil philosophy bullshits. Everything Dr. Phil says I feel is complete bullshit. And a lot of this how to parent is bullshit. Like I said.
So just quickly, for those that may want to do this, if they want, there is a parenting quiz link I just put in the comments. Of course, we know this may not apply to everybody of color, because this is a regular, whatever. But if you are just slightly interested in what type of parent that you are, there is a quiz you can take, and it's in the comments.
Yeah. So as a parent, just do those three things. Instill fear of the consequence into your kids. Instill knowing how to love into your kids, and instill know how to communicate within your kids. And then just do the best you can with everything else that life hits you with with situational shit, dealing with your kids as a parent. Like Becca said, there's no manual for this, because we got different situations we have to deal with compared to what our parents had to deal with, compared to what our grandparents had to deal with when they was raising our generation above us. So we're gonna go ahead and do our shout out. Shout out to Blackjack TV 199, Blackjack Prime 198, Zingo TV app. Download that to see the Blackjack channels. Blast Music, Mile High Radio, Stacks, Sean, Tina B, Mel, Nick J, Street Team General, Tazon, to the sponsors and the partnerships that we're working with behind the scenes, to our supporters in our Facebook group, to the people that have been in the comments that's always rocking with us and watching us. We appreciate y'all. If I miss anybody, blame on my mind. I forgot, not my heart. Love y'all. Yo, if you ain't nobody that's not got nothing else to say, we out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.